What's up guys, it's Findon. I recently bought this from Facebook Marketplace for $30. But what is it, I hear you cry? Well, Apple. It appears to be a MacBook. But this isn't just any old MacBook. Okay, maybe it is, but this is a MacBook from the dark age of the Mac. This is a period of time where every single Mac Apple was putting out was complete and utter garbage. The MacBook was fundamentally flawed, the MacBook Pros sucked, the MacBook Airs hadn't been updated in about 7 years design-wise, and when they did, they were basically just the same as the MacBook Pros. The Mac Pro was a trash can. The iMac was the iMac and still had spinning hard drives in them. I guess the one good thing was the iMac Pro, but that was a stopover. This guy right here is a laptop straight out of the dark ages. Butterfly keyboard and all. So what exactly did I get here? What did my $30 from Facebook Marketplace get me? Well, it got me a 2016 MacBook Pro. This right here is a 2015 MacBook Pro. You can see that it has many ports. The keyboard was just a normal laptop keyboard, nothing too crazy, and the Apple logo glowed. However, on the 2016 MacBook Pro, pretty much everything that was good was taken away. They took away the glowing Apple logo. Now it just looks like every other kind of laptop. Okay, but what about the port selection? Oh, you got two Thunderbolt 3 ports, we have another two Thunderbolt 3 ports and a headphone jack. And that's it. Okay, but what about the keyboard? Oh dear. It's the butterfly keyboard. And what is this touch bar? Why is my escape key a screen? What is this? Yeah, these MacBook Pros really aren't beloved. But $30 is still an absolute bargain for one of these. So what's the catch? Well, if we take a look at the screen, that's the catch. It's a MacBook Pro with a completely smashed screen. Luckily, it's still enough for us to kind of use it. Let's go to the Apple logo on top and about this Mac. You can see that this is a dual core i5. That's kind of cringe. Really? Dual core? Okay, well at least it's got 8 gigs of RAM. Apple only recently got rid of that a few months ago. Yeah, this thing's not very powerful, and even when you try to push it, it's gonna thermal throttle on you because guess what? This guy was too thin, and Intel, yeah, their innovation kind of came to a screeching halt at this period of time. So you guys might be thinking, man, you wasted your money on this. Why would you buy a laptop with a smashed screen on it? It's useless. You can't do anything with this. Well, what if I were to tell you there's a way to give this guy a second life without having to overpay for a MacBook Pro screen? Allow me to offer decapitation. What? That's right, we're going to be decapitating this MacBook. Pretty much, we're just going to be getting rid of the screen and using it as a desktop computer with like a keyboard attached. Basically, think of it as like a modern version of an Apple II. Computer and a keyboard. And then all we need to do is just hook it up to an external monitor and we're good. So that is the basic game plan for this video. I guess technically when this becomes a headless Mac, there still will be a display that's working. That is the touch bar. Yeah, the touch bar will still be working once this becomes a desktop Mac. I guess that's pretty cool because think of it as a magic keyboard with a trackpad with a touch bar on top, which I'm very surprised Apple didn't make. Alright, I think that's enough chitter chatter about this machine. It's time to tear this guy down and restore some of the usefulness back to this computer. And speaking of restoring things, do you need to restore deleted files back from your computer? Well, luckily, that's where the sponsor of this video, Wondershare Recover It, is here to help. See this USB right here? This USB can be crucial to the videos that you watch on this channel. When wirelessly transferring the videos off of my phone fail me, which, let's be real, is quite often, this USB is what I use to get the videos off of my phone for this channel. And no matter how careful you are with your data, especially when transferring files, accidents can happen. Don't ask me how I know. Luckily, that's where Wondershare Recover It comes in. With Wondershare Recover It, you can easily recover your photos, videos, and many other types of files on your computer. It supports Windows, Mac OS, Linux. You can use it to recover files from an SSD, some random USB sticks, or even a NAS. It supports over 1,000 file formats and can even repair corrupted videos too. So do you have files that you need to get recovered? Well, download Wondershare for free and try it out using the link in the description below. Thanks again to Wondershare for sponsoring this video. To conduct our dark and evil experiments on this little MacBook, we're going to need the silicone mat. I don't think that was good for the screen, but the screen was already broken, so I'm not going to watch any tutorials. I'm just going to be straight raw dogging this disassembly. To begin, we got to turn this guy upside down and start getting at these pentalobe screws. These are the pentalobe screws, P2, P5, P6. I'm going to guess P5. How good is my guess? Yep, perfect. I honestly can't say I've ever disassembled this generation of MacBook before. I've only disassembled as recent as a Retina MacBook, but never a Touch Bar generation Mac, so this is actually a first for me. So we got 2 screws on the top, and now we're going to be doing the 4 bottom screws. So from what it appears, the 2 screws at the top are actually larger than the 4 screws on the bottom. I do believe this generation Mac, you do actually have to pull off clips and use suction cups, which isn't fun. I kind of miss when it would just come off, but let's get some tools out. Oh, what goodies do I have in here? Here's my suction cups. Here's some picks. You know what? We're just going to do some suction cups and some picks. I don't know if we're going to need the EB Games level 2 card just yet, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Again, not looking up any tutorials for this, just straight up raw dog in the disassembly. What about up here? If we do something like this. Perfect. This is our way in. I've pulled this bit up on the bottom here. It's lifted that up, and we're just kind of dragging the pick along on the inside. Yep, I felt a clip pop. What is stopping the bottom from lifting up, huh? Oh, I didn't want to have to look up a tutorial. I wanted this to be quick and dirty. Okay, so apparently I'm doing this completely wrong. So pull that out, pull that out. I'm actually wrecking the bottom case, as you can see. What you're actually meant to do is take your MacBook and you're meant to pull the lid off this way. So if I do this, holy crap, the dust in here. The dust. There is so much dust in this poor machine. Holy crap. Hey, we're in here now. We'll give it a quick dusting and we're going to remove the screen. Bye-bye, screen. And what better way to clean the bottom case than with some eucalyptus spray. I've got some on a cloth here and we'll just very quickly give this a once over and you can immediately see all the grime is disappearing. I'm not going to go too thorough with this just yet. I'll do that before the reassembly, but just enough to get some of the gunk and grime out. Now, I'm not really going to sit here and try and clean out the internals or something like this. Instead, we're going to go outside and absolutely blast the hell out of this thing with some air. Hi, Bella. And Gnocchi's here too. I'm going to be using one of these cheap Amazon duster things to clean it out, so let's see how effective it is. And away we go! Still could use a bit more of manual cleaning, but that's still pretty damn good for just a first little attempt. First thing we need to do is take this little cover here, rip that off without destroying all of this. Like so, something flicked off. Someone's been in here. A screw flew out of somewhere. I don't know what though, that's weird as hell, but okay. So first things first, of course, we have to disconnect the battery. We just flick this little latch up, and then we pull this guy out like so. Of course, there actually is secretly one more step. We need to lift up the cable and unscrew this guy. Huzzah! Now the battery's actually disconnected. So next up, we have to remove some plastic. Where? Here, which covers the hinge mechanism. And then this bit, hey, it just pops right out, and look at that. That is the hinge. These screws are all here, but where's this one? Where did this screw go? Man, Apple really loves using all sorts of different sized bits to try and make repairs harder, but luckily, that won't scare me away. This is the absolute tiniest screw I've ever seen. Look at that, that is minuscule. I could see why this one's missing because man, these seem like they'd be so easy to lose. The tutorial is literally calling for us to mark these with a Sharpie so we remember where to place them. It's gonna have a mark on the end like so. The middle one is gonna have a mark on this back bit here. Just because I can't find my other colored Sharpies. Where's my spudger? It's my mystical grey spudger, the only one that I have that hasn't gotten absolutely wrecked from doing repairs yet. Absolutely tiny. There we are. That, I believe, is the connector for the display. Just when you thought we were done, there's even more. There's even more. Aha! Look at that! Could it be? That, my friends, is the display controller. Oh, it also turns out there's a hidden little screw under here that I gotta get rid of too. Would you look at that? Haha, just so happens to be T4 as well. Yoink, mine. Oh, okay, apparently the whole Wi-Fi antenna is now coming up. Yes. So in order to be able to keep Wi-Fi on the system, we're going to have to make sure that this will be able to be reseated in here. But honestly, I don't see why we'd have any issues with this. It seems to be a separate piece from the display. I don't think it's like the older MacBooks where if you remove the screen, you remove Wi-Fi, but we'll have to wait and see. I will reattach this when we get rid of the screen, but yeah. And I think we're now finally up to the big chungus screws. These do need to be larger. I have no problems with them using a different screw here. It's the hinge, it has to be big. I'm gonna guess they're Torx 8. Apple likes using TR8. These are the same screws that you can find in the PowerBook 190 that I tried to repair. So we're gonna take this one right here, a T8, and that's actually the right size. So there we go. First one I got. Torx T8. That is the screw that you're going to need to get into here. And now comes the big moment. Removing the screen. So we take this guy here. We open this up. If we open it a certain amount. Yep. This guy is free. It's separated. Here's our broken MacBook Pro screen. Basically e-waste. You can't really do much with this, I assume. What are these bits? Those bits are strange, wow. You can see much dust and crap's accumulated into this thing, wow. And now here we have the basic shell of the MacBook. It's really cool to think that this is the entire computer, this is it. That whole bit, that's just to let you see the computer. But we won't need that because monitors exist. For this guy here, we kind of just need to slot this back into place while also getting these under here, but then they were also underneath the heat pipe. Or we could just shove them through this hole, I think. Yeah, this angle should show it a lot better, but I believe it probably is this hole that it's going to go into. Plus this little attachy bit here that it screws into. Push that through a little bit. Aha, there's number 2. It's getting caught underneath the heatsink here, so we just sort of need to push it through like that. There we go, perfect. Number 2. And number 3, you want to cooperate? Number 3, everything's just kind of falling into place here, so I think we're in a good spot. Here we have our Headless Mac, and we're going to be plugging it into this monitor to try and use it. So setup is honestly pretty simple. Grab yourself a USB-C dock, something like this. Then we essentially plug this into our MacBook. So now that's connected and can go off to the side somewhere. I happen to have the spare HDMI cable plugged into my monitor for use on secondary displays. Plug it into your dock. Now essentially all we need to do is take our finger, put it on the power button, and turn the machine on. But where's the display? There's the display! That's what we want to see. The touch bar's on! This is a good sign. Here it is. There is a bunch of random little speckles going on in the screen. I don't know what's up with that. It's definitely not an issue with the monitor. This is one of my main monitors. Ah, my computer shut down because of a problem. Well, let's continue. And here we are. It's all just kind of up and running like nothing ever happened. It's just, oh yeah, I guess I'm a headless Mac now and I'm just going to output to this HDMI display. So that's kind of good that the Mac's not trying to force any phantom displays. It's just one display, that's it. Doesn't detect the laptop screen, it just, okay, puts up with it. Let's go to displays, here we go. So it only detects this one. We're going to actually up this to 144 Hertz because that's how much this monitor can do. Look at that. We're zooming at 144 Hertz just fine. This just straight up works. But what about the Wi-Fi? How affected is the Wi-Fi? It's picking up the signals. I don't like how this keyboard feels whatsoever. It's not very good. Look at that. We're connected to the internet. Let's go to Safari. Speed test. Yeah, I know the Ookla one's a little bit better than the Google one, but again, I can't be stuffed to edit out my IP address, so run speed test. Bit of a slow start, but that's getting about to where it should be. My internet is 250 by 20. I'm far away from the router, so this is expected. That's the Wi-Fi speed. Absolutely not affected at all by the decapitation and running beautifully. And yeah, pretty much everything else about this Mac works. Let's open up a new tab and let's go to frocfaduck.com. Again, absolutely horrible butterfly keyboard. I hate it. Okay, this is a little bit broken. Where's the image? This is not how the website's meant to look. There's meant to be a background image. You can even see the little question mark where it's failing to load the image. We're going to test the speakers on here. Let's go to staircase.wav. So like this image is working. I wonder why this is so broken. Maybe because I'm using a version of Safari from 2019. If I go to About This Mac, you'll see that this is macOS Catalina. But yeah, unsure really as to why it looks like this. I don't really see why it would look this bad, but let's crank these speakers. Is the touch bar going to respond like at all? Okay, so that's interesting. The touch bar is not responding. So that's fun. I no longer have an escape key. So cool, I guess. Look at that. I can't do anything. The touch bar is not working. What the hell? All I know is that the touch bar was working just fine last time I was using this before I decapitated the Mac. Anyways, that doesn't matter. It's not crucial, I guess. If I hold function, okay, look, if I hold function, it's still switching to function keys, which aren't doing anything. So we don't need a touch bar. We got traditional mouse controls. Let's just turn up the volume and staircase. It's taking ages to load there, isn't it? Okay, well, that's fine. We'll go to YouTube then. This is borked. What is this? Anyways. Oh, what the hell? So there you go, the speakers work absolutely perfectly. The speakers sound pretty good on here, although I don't really know what's going on with YouTube at the moment on here. It normally shouldn't look this broken, but I think that's just an issue with being an outdated version of Safari. Is Safari really this quick at getting broken on older versions? Because this is only macOS Catalina. Yep, touch bar's still borked. I don't really know what's going on here, but yep, our touch bar doesn't work, therefore we do not have an escape key. I hate it. And then if you want to get some actual work done, you'd go and do some document creation. We don't have words, so we're just going to open up notes. I'm pressing the touchpad too hard. I have to touch lower. I can't use any of the predictions up here because the touch bar doesn't work anymore. Let's type something. Not a good keyboard to type on at all. The butterfly keyboard is complete and utter crap. It feels like crap, I don't like it. But it doesn't have to be this crappy butterfly keyboard model. You could do this with really any MacBook that ever exists. I believe also Luke Mayani did a video on this where he got a brand new MacBook Pro and decapitated it and used it with an Apple Vision Pro, which is pretty cool, but I don't really have that kind of budget to blow on a video. Maybe one day, that would be fun though. But it just goes to show, if your MacBook screen's broken and you're just trying to look for a new display, or it's out of warranty and it's just too much money, just decapitate it and you'll have an experience pretty much on par with a Mac Mini. If not a little bit better, because you get a built-in keyboard and trackpad and a battery too, which can be handy. This well and truly is the Apple II experience. We could call this one the Apple III. No wait, the Apple III already exists. That was the Apple computer with a 100% failure rate because Steve Jobs refused to put a fan in it and they overheated. One of the actual real instructions on how to fix it was to pick up the machine and drop it on the floor. I am not making this up. So since Apple III is taken, I guess this can be the Apple IV. Yeah, I don't know. It's a MacBook. Well, it was a MacBook, but now it's just a slab. It's just a slab of computer with a keyboard and a weird thing on it that doesn't even work. And there we have it. That is the tale of the Headless Mac. It may have lost its head, but it still lives. like a zombie or something. My name is Frogfuducky, so that however you want, I really don't care. New videos weekly? Sometimes? Maybe. Consider becoming a channel member like all these people on the screen have. You get bonus videos, early access to upcoming videos, exclusive Discord server roles, and your very own Minecraft server, all rolled into one. Starts at $1 a month. Also be sure to check out my Discord server and also my website. I post there sometimes. And yeah, that's about it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.